release our field data collection, PCS field data collector application update, FDC 211. Went out about, what, 2 weeks ago, Patrick?
That's correct. Went out on the 6th.
Couple of things we did to try to give better supportability. Now FDC is fully supported on Android 14, which is the most contemporary Google operating system. We will be releasing shortly here the Android 14 update for the Mesa 3 Android tablets. We hold that back just to help support, to make sure everything's going to be great for you guys. And there will be a lot of communications coming out on how to update your operating system. Nothing is forced. It's discretionary. A big pop-up will come up like a cell phone. But it does have a lot of really great features. Couple of things, a lot of performance improvements. We always try to tweak to make sure your surveys are done accurately and well the first time around. We did add a very requested feature of GPS proximity sort. So on your site list, as you're walking up to your points, you can actually filter to have the most local, the closest site populated right on your site list, and you can refresh that to make sure that you have your, to give you a better navigation experience. And we also added your last surveyed date and value right on your main screen when you're going to do your annuals and periodics. It'll show your last good test point read, your last pipe to soil read. So you can, again, try to create some efficiency and not have to navigate so many places. We'd love to hear your feedback and comments. And obviously, as always, these are by and for you, our loyal customers and everyone in the corrosion industry. So please don't hesitate to give us any constructive feedback. Patrick has lots and lots of capacity to try to put everything we can to make your experience the best it's possible. So without further ado, I'll hand this over to Patrick and look forward to hearing your questions, answers, and thank you again for joining us at Virtual Brew.
I appreciate it, Justin. Thanks, Christiane. Again, my name's Patrick McClellan. I'm the product manager for FDC, as well as the survey accessories that go with FDC to enable you guys to survey in the field. So yeah, Justin made some great call outs on FDC 2.1.1. Again, yes, if you have feedback for me on the application at any point in time, I'm always open to hear what your user experience is in the field and be able to kind of expand functionality to handle those use cases. So feel free to send all the feedback you have. I'm all ears. So let's jump into it. Today, we're going to be talking about FDC and how we can utilize field asset identification by leveraging some technology that I don't think a lot of people know about, which is the RFID technology. And so what we're going to ask first of all is how many people actually know that there's going to be a poll Christiane's going to put up, and I want you to kind of give me a yes or no answer. How many guys use RFIDs and FDC currently right now? So Christiane, I'll let you put the poll up, and then we'll kind of see anybody. So we got to know. That's good. We definitely see some people that do use RFID, so that's really good. It really helps your efficiency in the field, and that's kind of what we want to talk about today. So looks like 71% haven't used it before, so this is going to be great for you guys, and hopefully the other people that use it can kind of learn some extra functionality you can do with it. So let's kind of jump in. I know this is kind of a down and dirty rundown of it, and so I want to kind of get into the meat and potatoes of it. So the use case we're really trying to adapt to and show you guys is, as you're a user, you want to be able to scan these RFID tags so you can find your assets really easily while you're collecting your compliance data. You want to find them and locate them and make sure that when you're at the site on location, that you're at the right site in your survey so you collect the right date for the right asset. So the RFID technology, what it does is it allows you to take an RFID reader, scan different types of RFID tags that will be associated with the site. It's also linked back to your PCS database and allows you to jump right to that site, right on the inspection tab, so you're ready to go and take your inspection data when you're at that asset. The thing about the RFID tags that's nice is they come in different form factors. We'll go over that in just a second. So it gives you some flexibility on how you want to mount these items to your assets on the field. And the nice thing too is this reader, it's just a Bluetooth device that connects to any of your devices, whether it's Windows, iPads, or iOS and Androids. And you can go ahead and pair that through Bluetooth and then go ahead and tag, use that reader to go ahead and collect the tag data while you're out there surveying. So we're going to do a quick rundown. I'm going to show you kind of how the things you want to make sure you have set up in PCS so that you're enabled to use this technology in the field. And then we're going to kind of walk through some user scenarios of how you'll do these things in the field using the RFID tags. If you have questions, stop me. Christiane will be calling out questions, or if you want to wait to the end, that's fine as well. So let's talk about this. So we support the pin solid RFID reader. So it's a microsense reader. It's a Bluetooth reader. There's a picture of it on the slide. The nice thing is it's supported across all platforms, iOS, Android, and Windows. So you'll connect that device to the Bluetooth connection settings of your device, just like you would a Bluetooth speaker or headphones, anything like that. And the reader will automatically be enabled and be picked up by the FDC Field Data Collector app when you open the app and you go into a survey. So once you pair it to the device, it'll be ready to go once you open PCS and you actually go into your survey. So RFID tags got different kinds of options because there's different types of assets in the field. So we've got key fob tags. Those allow you to kind of for hanging them on like valves or other facility where it's not really practical to apply them to the assets directly. And then for like test point riser poles, anything that's a dry surface PVC pipe, things of that nature, you can go ahead and peel and stick. So these are very low profile. That gives you adaptability on how you want to attach them to your assets. We also have teardrop. So these different types of steel ones that you can actually either bolt on or epoxy on to bare metal coatings, anything that's exposed metal. And then for like rectifiers, bond boxes, things of that nature, we have these stick-on metal tags as well. So you can stick them on, just clean them off or peel and stick. So you have a lot of flexibility when you're trying to set these tags up in the field. So you're not just one size fits all. Whatever your application is, we have a tag that will go ahead and suit that application. So you can go ahead and mount these there to your assets on the pipe. Quick overview of the reader. I want to just call it some features. So if you've never had your hands on one, or if you have, you may not know some of these features, but it's powered by a micro USB. It's got a 10-hour battery runtime on it. Got a kind of great little depiction of where your power button is. You hold that, powers on the unit. Once you power it on, it'll go into a pairing mode. So that's when you'll go ahead and go to your Bluetooth settings on the device, pair it to the device. There is a little kind of looks like a Wi-Fi signal. That's your scanning button. You click that to read a tag. So you'll hold that up in proximity of a couple inches to 6 or 7 inches to about an inch from the reader. You can go ahead and click it, and it'll go ahead and take a read. The button statuses, there's some lighting. So there's a red light, means if it didn't read a tag, it's going to tell you, or invalid read, it was a red light. So you need to read it again. If it gets a successful read or reads a tag, it'll give you a green feedback. So when you're actually clicking that scan button on a tag, if you had a successful read or not. And I'm going through these slides fast because I really want to demo the software and kind of show these use cases. This will all be provided in a PDF. So for quick reference when you're done, you can go back and look at this slideshow. All right, so let's talk about how do we set this up. The thing we got to remember about PCS and FDC is they're linked together and they send data from one, they collect the data and they send it back. It gives you that field to office experience. So the one thing you got to remember is you want to make sure you have your data view set up correctly. So in PCS, when you're looking at your facilities, for every different module and facility type, you have your information, your inspection, and your maintenance tabs. So this is an information field because you're collecting an information about your asset. So you want to make sure, and I've highlighted in this screenshot, that under your customized settings, when you go in there, you want to actually add the RFID field to your grid. That way you can see which assets have had IDs set for them, tags set for them, and which do not. Another thing you can do is once you have them in here, you can actually copy this value if you want to set multiple tags for one asset or for multiple assets. That way, if you have like a test point or rectifier at the same location, you want to use the same tag, then you can actually use one tag and find both those assets. And we'll show you that here in just a second. The other thing you got to do is you need to add the RFID prompts into your prompt theme. So this is what you're building your prompt theme. You're adding your fields in and what you want to send in the survey to be able to collect while you're there. So under each of your prompt themes, you have a facility type. And for each of the facility types, you need to add this RFID field. Now, there's a caveat here. When it's included or excluded, you can still read tags in the field and you can still collect data. You can set tags and read tags, whether it's there or not. I always recommend the best practices to add this to every facility type. And the reason being is it allows you to see that you successfully added or updated a tag. And so you can look at those IDs and make sure that you have them. Though it will work without it in the prompt theme, best practice is to always add it in the prompt theme. So some of the main activities that you do with the RFID tags is you need to capture your tags. So the one thing that's really nice about this technology is that you don't have to go input all this data in PCS and set it up there and then go to the field. You can actually set your tags in the field, mount them to your assets, pair your reader, scan the tags, and it actually, basically, you're collecting that RFID data while you're in the field. So you can collect it, capture it, and then that is pushed back to PCS when you import your survey. So these are some steps that you'll go through to collect and capture a new tag. Whether you're on the site list or a specific site, you can take a reading. But when you want to set a tag, you're going to go to the site that you want to, and you're going to click the information tab, and you're going to actually scan the tag that you want to capture for it, and it'll give you a prompt message. And this is an example of it. It'll say, hey, there's no sites found for this tag in this survey. Would you like to set it for this site? You click add tag and you're done. At that point, that data gets pushed back into PCS when you import it. So when you want to read a single site, so I've already captured it. Now I'm in the field and I'm standing at a test point, for example, and I want to find that very quickly in my survey. You walk up to the test point, you can scan that vinyl tag with your RFID reader, and it will jump you directly to that site and open the inspection page so that you are ready to enter your inspection data and collect your data without any needed extra actions. So we'll show you all this in a second, but just these are the steps that allow you to read a single site. And the nice thing about it is you don't have to be on a site. You can be on the site list, kind of in this example, scan it, and it'll jump you right to the site and right to the inspection page. So if you have, like I said, one tag ID associated to multiple assets, maybe a test point and a rectifier, like I said a second ago, you can scan that tag and you're going to get an option that'll pop up and say, hey, this tag is associated with these 3 facilities. And then all you have to do is select the radio button and hit OK. And again, it jumps you right to that site and then right to the inspection page, so you'll be ready to survey. This is great for test point junction boxes, things of that nature where you have multiple assets in the same location. So say you had a tag or it's somebody else's tag and it's not in your system and you need to do a replacement. You can take that tag off, put a new tag on there, and even if that site in your survey was associated with a different tag, you can override it for a replacement. So you can go up to that site, go back to the information page. You may see an ID there. You can scan a different tag and it'll give you a message say, hey, I want to add, there's already a tag here. Do you want to override it with this new tag? So you can cancel out and not do that action, or you can go ahead and hit add tag. And what it'll do is it'll update that site with the correct new tag that you're trying to do when you're fixing things in the field or replacing things in the field. And then again, when you get pushed back to PCS, that data again will be updated as well. So it's complete seamless interaction between PCS and FTC when it comes to how these tags interact with each other. So now you've watched these real boring slides and you can look at it in reference. So let's look at the software. So first of all, like I was talking about, we're going to take a look at PCS. So in PCS, the thing we want to remember is you got to go to your edit data module grid and for whatever module you're in your facility type, and then you're going to want to click the information tab. Once it loads the grid, if you do not have RFID in your grid, you need to go to customize and add it. So you just search for RFID right here. It'll pop up, you double click it and it'll add it to your grid, and you can put it in wherever you want in your layout. Again, this gives you the flexibility to see what has tags and what doesn't. And if you want to associate a certain tag number to multiple sites, all you got to do is go in there, double click it. You can do a copy and then you can paste it into whatever other sites you want this tag to be associated with. So that's kind of setup you need to do in PCS from the grid side. And then when you go to actually, hey, I'm ready to send my sites to FTC to do my surveying, you'll obviously use the field computer send, and you'll want to do the same thing. You'll want to go into customize, and for whatever prompt theme you're going to use, you're going to click prompts. You'll select whatever prompt theme. And then for each one of these facility types, this is a little bit tedious, but you want to make sure whatever survey types you have in your prompt theme that you do the same thing. You can search for RFID and double click it. It'll add it and you can put it in your layout wherever you want it. These will all land on your information tab inside of FTC for each site. So now that we've kind of set that up, and I did kind of preload this just to kind of speed some things up. Now we're going to select some sites. So today we're just going to look at test points, rectifiers, and foreign bonds. We're going to go ahead and hit apply. And since we're going to send, I'm using an Android device, we're going to send directly to the Android device from PCS. So I'm going to go ahead and select send to mobile, and then I'm going to refresh and pick up. I'm using the Mesa 3 Android, so I'm going to select the device. And then we're going to pick, we'll just say 20 sites. And in these 20 sites, you can see that there's foreign bonds, rectifiers, and test points. So we're going to name this Virtual Brew. And we're going to go ahead and send that over to the FTC application. So now let me bring FTC up, and we're going to go back to our list and refresh it. And now we should see virtual brew show up. So again, once you do this, you'll see it's there. You click on it, it's ready to download. And then once you click in it, you're ready to survey. Now, I'm going to hold up my RFID reader pin. I don't know if you can see it. We'll see if you can see it. There you go. So it's ready. It's already been paired to my device. So now what do? So I want to capture a new tag. So I'm going to go to test point. I'm going to check my information page. I don't see anything in my RFID thing, my RFID field. So I'm going to pick a new tag and I'm going to hold it next to it like this. I'm going to read it. And as soon as I read it, you're going to get a pop-up like on that screenshot. What it's telling you is, hey, there's no sites in this survey associated. And I want to go ahead and click add. And now it's associated. So you can see it's populated. So we'll go back. And now that we've captured it, we'll go back to the site list. And as soon as I scan that tag, it's going to jump me right back to that site. And it's going to jump me right to the inspection tab so that I am ready to survey. So now I am able to take a reading. So I've got a little battery hooked up to my voltmeter. And now I've accepted my reading and I'm ready to survey. So I'll just enter some criteria here. And now I'm done. So it makes it very quick to capture and read. Same thing is I already had some sites associated with a single tab, right? So I just want to, hey, I'm at this asset. I need to find this very quickly. I'm going to go ahead and scan my next tag. And again, it jumps you right there. So you can see between, we've given you a lot of navigation features with the mapping and site lists and how you can find things quickly. This is just another efficiency that allows you to be very quick when you're standing at the site. You don't have to scroll through a site list. You don't have to look so much at the information. You're standing there. That tag's already been associated. It kind of takes the guesswork out of it. Quick and easy way to find your assets. So say you're at a site though, and you're like, hey, I've got 3 things here. I've got a test point, a foreign, and a rectifier. I need to get this tag read so I know exactly where I need to go in my site. And I don't want to have to look because depending on how I have things sorted or filtered, they may not be in my view. And I don't want to have to do a bunch of scrolling or try to look on the map. I can quickly scan the tag that's associated with multiple devices or multiple facilities, sorry. And you're going to get this nice pop-up. And what it's telling you is here's all these sites that are associated with that one tag. So for instance, we'll go ahead and look at foreign bond. That's the one I want to do. Again, as soon as you click it and hit OK. Yeah.
We have one question on the chat that we missed on. Do you connect the pin through the device Bluetooth settings or in the FDC app?
That's a great question. The Bluetooth, the reader, the RFID reader is going to connect to the device's Bluetooth outside of FDC. So there's a big distinguishing there. When we connect our voltmeter, we connect it inside of FDC. But when we connect the RFID, you connect it to actually the device settings. So you can connect it to go to your Bluetooth settings for your Android or your iOS. You'll do your pairing there. It'll say it's paired. And then once you open the FDC app, you will see your Bluetooth reader stop broadcasting a pairing mode, and it'll show a blue solid light that says I'm paired and I'm being used in the application. Great question, though. We get that asked a lot, so glad I could clarify that. Again, so one thing I wanted to show on this test point is great. It jumped me right to my site, but I also wanted to show this site does not have an RFID prompt for it. So it's just showing you that best practice is to add it so you can make sure you see the ID if you're updating it or if you're capturing them. But even if you don't and you mistakenly forgot to put it in your prompt, you're not going to be out of luck. You're still going to be able to use this technology, and it's still going to help you in the field regardless of habit. But just make a note that you always want to try to add it. It gives you better visibility. So let's talk about the one that I already added. So I went back down here to this test point 05, right? I decided, man, this tag is not something I need. I would need to override it. It's either damaged or it's not an asset that we're using. All you need to do is go over to the information page, scan the new tag that you've replaced it with, and it's going to give you a quick ability. It's going to say, hey, this is overriding a tag. So you get a warning. So you know, hey, I'm about to change data. And I'm going to tell you what the new tag number is. So then once you go ahead and accept it, it's going to update this tag number to the new one. And when that's imported into PCS, it will update the record in PCS to make sure that it'll work next time you send it out. And you don't have to worry about, did it work or did it not get pushed back and forth? So, the nice thing about this functionality is it really streamlines your workflow in the field. I get a lot of questions about this. especially when we put them out at shows or we're with customers and they're like, oh, what do you use this for? So really wanted to highlight that functionality here for everyone today. I know that it's not the longest demo, but it really, really makes you a lot more efficient in the field, gives you some flexibility on how you want to associate your assets and find them, gives you just another way of viewing things while you're working in the field. So kind of going to open it up for questions. It's very straightforward technology. So if you have any questions outside of this, feel free to shoot us an email. Again, this will be available as a PDF as well. So you'll be able to see screenshots, and there's also a video how to capture RFIDs in that as well. So I have your question from Cole. Is there a new script for the Android 14 release? A new script for the update or for the RFID pin? Can you clarify? No, the RFID pin works with Android 11, Android 14. You don't need to do any updates for the pin to work. So it'll work the same as it's always worked in any of the Android.
And one thing that's really positive about the pens that we have integrated into FDC is that all it takes is a firmware in order to transition it from one operating system to another. So you can take the same pen on an Android device, move it to a Windows device, move it to an iOS device, and all that's on our page. So we try to make it fairly simple.
Yeah, and to mention and clarify that, instead, it's not so much a firmware; it's just a configuration setting. So all you have to do is just change this, run a configuration change on it. And so if you have some people using iPads or some people using Android devices, you can reconfigure the pin for whatever application device you're using.
So Patrick,
you can purchase our. I'll let Justin take that.
Travis was asking about. Is the microsensus pen able to integrate with alternate non-AI provided RFID tags?
That's correct. It reads any RFID high frequency RFID tag. So you don't have to have proprietary tags from us. If they're the high frequency RFID tags, the RFID reader will read them.
And Travis, if you'd like, you could send us the specifications of your tags, and we can help you navigate that, or call into support and we'll help you work through that to make sure that you have something to use.
Sean, yeah, we sell the RFID readers on our website as well as all the tags. So you can get them there, as well as you can reach out to your sales rep as well, and he can help you get all the setups that you need, the different type configurations for tags, as well as the reader itself.
And Sean, I think when you're looking, if you go to our web store, and we'll drop the link here as well,
Sure.
What it's saying is we have actually a large amount of the Android native RFID tag readers. All it is a simple configuration update that can switch it over to, you might have been looking at like the iOS or the Windows, but all of them are the same pen. What we do is we sell them pre-configured for whatever your operating system is, but you can make a really quick change. And we'll also drop the link in here to show how you can quickly do that right off our support site. So it's very simple. It doesn't really matter which version you get. You have all the same capabilities and functions.
Yes, sir.
I see there's another question. There's been a new release. Yeah. Has there been a new release of the pen solid? Will the pen from 6 years ago with the proper script still work today?
Yes, as long as it's the pen solid high frequency by microsense, it'll work. There's no problems with that.